Welcome to the Word for 2022. Today we're in 2 Kings chapter 3. As we've been reading through 1st and 2nd Kings, it might be disheartening to read again and again how one king after another disobeyed the Lord, and how the people continue to always go back towards disobedience. But now, in these next chapters in 2 Kings, there are miracles that are performed through Elijah that I believe will bolster your faith, and they might even want to make you shout. Here in chapter 3, the king of Israel, Judah, and Edom, they all go to war together against Moab. Now, during a 7-day march, they run out of water. Now, this is a major problem. So in verse 11, Jehoshaphat asks, "Is there not a prophet of the Lord that we may inquire of the Lord through?" Yes, there is, and his name is Elisha, and he is near. The three kings go to meet with Elisha, and out of respect for Jehoshaphat, Elisha agrees to intercede. In verse 15, the first thing that Elisha does is he asks for a harpist. The prophet, he's not in a hurry at all. And while the music is playing, it says, as he's waiting upon the Lord, then the Lord answers and tells the people that they are to dig ditches throughout the valley. And without wind or rain, God says the ditches will be filled with water, all that you need. I love verse 18. In fact, as you're reading that in your own Bible, may I encourage you to underline it, highlight it, circle it, whatever you want to do, because this is what Elisha says to the people. This is an easy thing in the eyes of the Lord, and he will also hand Moab over to you. The next morning, the land is filled with water. This is a miracle from God, but the miracle started with a problem. In fact, every miracle always starts with a problem. So let me ask you a question. Do you have a problem? It's actually an opportunity for God to be at work in your life. The problem that you have, it's actually an opportunity for you to experience God working in your life in a brand new way. The problem that you're facing, it's actually an opportunity for your faith to grow. As we read this chapter and the miracles that are in 2 Kings, we understand that a big problem in our eyes is actually an easy one in the Lord's eyes. As you're reading this chapter, go back to verse 15. Elijah says, "Bring me a harpist." He wanted to have music about him. Now, music, it evokes worship. And so Elijah is worshiping the Lord. While worship is going up, the answer then came down. Now, Elisha was not in a hurry. He was waiting upon the Lord. What does worship do? It lifts our eyes, our attention, and our thoughts upon God. It lifts them heavenward where our answers are going to come from. We read in Psalm 121, "I lift up my eyes to the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the maker of heaven and earth." And then in Psalm 123, "I lift my eyes to you whose throne is in heaven." In Psalm 46, "God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in time of trouble." And near the end of Psalm 46, "Be still and know that I am God." Worship helps us see life in proper perspective. Our God is huge. Our God is mighty. Our God set all the stars in place, and He knows each one of them by name. And He sits enthroned in heaven. So, in comparison to Him, our problems are no problem for Him. I heard it once said, with a small vision of God, our problems loom large. But with a high view of God, our problems, they always shrink in size. Do you have a problem that you're facing today? May I encourage you to do the 3 things that we find in this chapter. Number 1, sit before the Lord. Number 2, worship Him. Thank Him that He is able. Even go back to verse 18 and recite it over and over to yourself. This is an easy thing for the Lord. But then the 3rd, don't be in a hurry. Wait and listen for His direction. Thank you for joining the Word for 2022.